We have two candidates out of the three here for the Richland City Council, and they are, let me change sheets here. Is it Bensussen or Susan? Stan Bensussen and Gregory Jones. Our missing candidate is Melody Reed, and she did send a written statement that I will read to you in just a moment. I have a few questions. Are there any other questions for the Richland City Council? Okay. We told Melody that she could send a 3-minute written statement, and she did send a statement, but it was over 3 minutes, so I've done a little bit of editing, and I will leave it up here in case anybody would like to. I'm going to edit out all of the academic places she has attended. And if you want to read the entire thing, I will leave it up here, and you're certainly welcome to read it. Unfortunately, I am not able to attend the debate tonight due to a prior out-of-town commitment. Therefore, I am submitting this written statement to tell you more about myself and my reasons for running for the Richland City Council. I was born and raised in a small farming community in California. I grew up with one older sister, multiple dogs, and 2 wonderful parents who at age 93 are still living independently in their own home and continue to engage in heated political discussions. I have always been a strong leader with a drive to help others, so it was only natural that I chose the teaching profession as my career, and worked as an elementary school teacher for over 30 years. While teaching, I returned to college for a master's degree in public administration, received an endorsement in early childhood education, received professional teacher certification in the state of Washington. She is currently working on a professional administration certification in this state. Her current job is as a vice principal in a pre-K through 8th grade school. She's been married for 37 years to Richard Reed, her campaign manager and ardent supporter, and they have 3 wonderful children. Throughout the years, I've been involved in many organizations and groups. I was the regional director for Odyssey of the Mind in Augusta, Georgia. I was appointed by the governor of Georgia to serve a 3-year term on the Special Education Advisory Panel, and I sat on many committees. She was active in local elections, was a member of the Daughters of America, of the American Revolution, and she considers herself a very patriotic person. I am a member, I'm speaking for her, I am a member of, I said that. I write letters to the newspaper, contact my government representatives, and voice my opinion as it is a guaranteed right as a citizen of the United States of America. I am running for a seat on the Richland City Council because I want to be more involved in local government. Richland is a wonderful city to live in. It has abundant natural resources, friendly residents, and a unique heritage. As the city continues to grow and develop, more and more people will want to come here to enjoy what we have to offer. Some of the major issues that I see facing the city are the many buildings and infrastructure projects that have been and are being planned for the city. Some of the larger ones include the revitalization of the downtown area, the successful completion and cooperation of the Hanford Reach, collaboration with WSU on the Wine Science Center, and completion of the Dupertail Bridge. Other issues include the effects of the Energy Independence Act, concerns with overregulation and taxation on small businesses, maintaining safe neighborhoods and revitalizing those that have been badly kept up, maintaining the ecosystem of Richland as the city expands, ensuring the fiscal responsibility of city funds, and addressing public concerns in a timely manner. As a representative of the people of Richland, I will listen to what you have to say about concerns and problems, as well as the strengths and priorities for our city. As residents, we all want Richland to remain a thriving community, a place where people can be proud to raise their families, be provided a great education, have access to recreational activities, have entertainment options, superior health care, and continue to attract successful businesses and commerce. I ask for your vote. to become a member of the Richland City Council. Thank you. And like I said, I will leave this up here. We will now move to the opening statements of the two candidates who could attend tonight, and we will begin with Mr. Stan Bensussen. I'm sorry.
Thank you. My name is Stan Bensussen, and I'm running for Richland City Council. I have two fundamental reasons for why I've chosen to do that. I believe I bring a rich and diverse experience to the challenge of guiding and running the city of Richland. I've been an attorney for almost 40 years, and most of that experience has been as general counsel and vice president for a number of companies that have successfully performed work here in Richland on the Hanford Reservation, including Kaiser Engineers Hanford Company, CH2M Hill, and CH2M Hill Plateau Remediation Company. I intend to retire this September and will be in a position, therefore, to fully dedicate myself to the task of being a Richland City Council member without any competing interests and without any potential conflicts of interest. Part of my experience as an attorney has been with the Washington Public Power Supply System, now known as Energy Northwest. The importance of that experience is that Energy Northwest is and was a municipal corporation similar to the city of Richland. In that career, I had the opportunity to focus on a number of critical municipal issues, et cetera. My other reason for running for city council is that it gives me the opportunity, frankly, to give back to the city that I know and that I've come to love and that has provided my family and I so much. My two boys were born here at Cadillac Hospital. My two sons graduated from Richland High School. I have proudly worn a Richland High School hoodie bomber sweatshirt over in Seattle, where I was mostly raised. When you go to New York and wear that sweatshirt, it's amazing the number of people that come up to you and want you to give them your sweatshirt. This is my home. It's the right place. It's the right time for me to pay it forward and give to the city and the community that I have come to appreciate and admire. Thank you very much.
Thank you. And we will hear from one of your opponents, Mr. Gregory Jones.
Thank you. Good evening, everybody, and I appreciate the opportunity and thank you for the invitation to speak with you tonight. I am Greg Jones, and I'm running for the Richland City Council position number 7. I have lived in Richland for over 30 years, and I bring more than 35 years of engineering experience in the federal government and the commercial nuclear and construction industry. I am the vice chair for the Richland Parks and Recreation Commission and have been working with the City of Richland Council and staff for the past 18 months. I was elected the vice chair based on my enthusiasm and dedication. I have over a 100% attendance rate, if you include the workshops, if you will. I would initially focused on aligning and integrating the Park and Recreation's goals and objectives with that of the City of Richland's strategic leadership plan. I established performance goals and measures that are realistic, measurable, and with target dates for accomplishment. This is the first time that the Parks and Recreation Commission has done that with respect to the overall vision and strategic leadership plan. And we are on course for meeting all of our performance goals and objectives. I am running for City Council because I believe I can provide valuable insight and perspective on meeting the city's vision. I will commit myself to ensuring that Richland is fiscally responsible, economic vitality is strengthened, and its infrastructure is improved. It's critical that the City of Richland Council maintain a broad and open, transparent perspective. To achieve this, Council must work with its commissions, staff, and most importantly, the residents of Richland to understand their goals, objectives, and how they are to accomplish them. I will listen with an open mind to the residents of Richland before making decisions, and I will commit to openly communicate my thoughts and reasons for those decisions with everyone. As the mayors of the 4 cities recently stated in their 2013 State of the Tri-Cities message, it is important that we in the Tri-Cities partner not only for success of individual cities, but the success of the Tri-Cities as a whole. Thank you very much.
Thank you both. We will move on to the question and answer portion. We have a couple questions about the Dupertale Bridge and extending Dupertale, and one about the Performing Arts Center. What is your opinion on this, or knowledge about the status of the Dupertale project, and how important or how much would you like to see a Performing Arts Center? And you can address those both in a minute and a half. And we'll start with Mr. Bensussen, I'm sorry.
The Dupertale Bridge project is candidly not something that I'm that familiar with. Obviously, I know where it's intended and across the river. We have a continuing challenge with the growth in the Queensgate, Keene area, and to the extent to which it makes sense long-term to have another bridge across the river at that location. Obviously, that will enhance the ability to open up that entire area to further growth and to further development. And in terms of a
Performing Arts
Center, obviously a lot of what takes place in the area of performing arts takes place right here in schools, in Richland High School and Hanford High School. A lot of concerts, a lot of activities take place. I've always felt like that was an amazingly comfortable place to conduct those things, and have always enjoyed myself there. So it's not clear to me what a performing arts center would add that is not already supplied by the local high schools in terms of performances.
Thank you. And Mr. Gregory, or Mr. Jones, I'm sorry.
Either one will work, thank you.
You'll answer it anything now.
I will say I have a little bit more understanding of the Dupertale Bridge project. Recognize that the Dupertale Bridge had 4 primary reasons for being. One was to alleviate the congestion on the I-82-240 corridor, improve emergency vehicle response times to currently to underserved areas of the town, improve the overall mobility of the bicycle and pedestrian users, and then 4th was to replace the city waters pipeline serving the south side of the river. My main concern with this project, and I believe in the project, is the biggest challenge is the $32 million funding of the project. The city has requested $20 million from the state, which has not been approved yet. Assuming they get that, the city will still need to be creative and evaluate all avenues for obtaining the additional funds to minimize the overall impact on raising taxes, whether it's gasoline, property, utilities, etc. And I will work hard to ensure that the most reasonable approach is determined and ensure the residents are totally involved in that process. We must be transparent with that decision. It's a big decision. It's a big expenditure. As Mr. Bensussen stated, it's important with respect to the overall survivability of the Tri-Cities and the Queensgate-Keene Road corridor. With respect to the performing arts, I agree with Mr. Bensussen from the standpoint that we have a lot of venues already in existence here in the Tri-Cities. It goes back to partnering with the other communities. We have the Tri-City Arena where a lot of the performing arts occurs. We have the City of Richlands. And so bottom line is I agree, it is not intuitively apparent to me at this time without understanding the total background with respect to why a performing arts venue is necessary at this time. Thank you.
Thank you. You get to start with our next question, which deals with a similar project, and that's the Aquatic Center. This week, the Tri-City Herald endorsed or encouraged people to vote in favor of it. It will cost an extra penny on a $10 purchase, and it's throughout the Tri-Cities that people will be voting. Do you agree with the endorsement? And whether it passes or not, do you think down the road Richland will still need to eventually provide more public swimming
First of all, I do support the Aquatic Center as currently proposed and endorsed by the other cities. It is a large expenditure. We have had some, you have to recognize that we are a young and upcoming community. As baby boomers, we are moving on, and our younger folks that are moving in, we need to keep here, and we need to have those venues that attract those young families and individuals to stay here by providing recreational opportunities besides the park system and everything else. We do have aging facilities at George Prout Pool and some of the others, so I do believe that we may need to renovate some of these. It is for those, as long as we have a transportation system that will provide adequate transportation venues to the Aquatic Center, combined with the more smaller community pool aspects, I think we can adequately handle that.
Okay, thank you. And Mr. Bensussen.
I've read many of the stories and many of the newspaper articles about the Aquatic Center. I lived in a community when we were at Rocky Flats for 5 years that had an aquatic center. It was an amazingly used and attractive facility. We obviously have a number of swimming pools and a number of facilities already in the community. They're aging. Whether it's appropriate to upgrade those facilities or combine the cities into a very much larger facility, I think is worth a examination and additional dialogue. But I can tell you from my own personal experience, those aquatic centers are amazing facilities. They're used a lot by the local citizenry throughout the entire winter, and I think it would be an amazingly attractive a facility that would bring people actually here in part for recreational purposes, if not during the summer, at least during the winter.
Okay, thank you. Because of the time constraint and the fact that there are only two of you, I will not read the last question, but I will tell you, if you make it to the general election, this will come up because it comes up at every candidates forum we have with Richland City Council, and that is, what do you do with the old core of Richland to upgrade it and improve both the commercial and residential areas in old Richland? So you can be forewarned. So we will move on.
When you talk about old Richland, you weren't talking about us, right?
Not the old people, just
Okay,
the
I got you.
older buildings. So we will go ahead and move on to your closing statements, and we will begin with Mr. Jones.
Again, I wanted to thank everyone for coming and giving me the opportunity to talk to you all about my candidacy. My overall goal is to support Richland's vision and strategic leadership plan as currently identified and approved by the City Council. We have to remain flexible to deal with emerging issues, though. I will actively listen to the residents of Richland on pressing issues to ensure that the city's growth, vitality, and attractiveness, especially to the younger generations, continues and continues and continues. My experience as the vice chair for the Richland Parks and Recreation Commission, along with my 35 years professional experience, I believe makes me uniquely qualified for the Richland City Council. I will bring operational effectiveness to the Richland government. I will work to maintain the financial stability without unnecessary debt. And I will strive to bring new businesses to the city so that we don't have to depend on Hanford for the rest of our lives. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my views.
Thank you. And finally, we'll hear from Mr. Bensussen.
I want to thank the League of Women Voters for having this forum and inviting us to speak. I've thought a lot about running for the Richland City Council. Some of you may have noted that some of the letters that I've written to the editor in the newspaper, but the purpose of that is to constantly be seeking an opportunity to improve where we live and how we live. As Greg and I have worked together, and as he has said, someday Hanford is going to be over, and we have, as a community, to really begin to look at what lies ahead for us. It's the competition for the property that's out there at Hanford that's going to be made available for future development. It's working with TRIDEC, and it's working with the communities to ensure that our interests are properly represented going forward. And I believe I can bring a unique set of credentials from my corporate experience to that task and give the city of Richland the opportunity to excel that we all wish for it. Thank you very much.
Thank you both. Again, we have Mr. Stan Bensussen and Mr. Gregory Jones. Thank you.